Why are we called Negroes? Why are we deaf, dumb, and blind? Why is everybody making progress, yet we seem to be lagging so far behind? Why are we mistreated? Why are we in this condition? Stripped of our name, our language, our culture, our God, and our religion. Here in America, all of our religious training has been gotten by the preacher. He has told us of a heaven way up in the sky that we can't enjoy now, but rather after we die.
Welcome. Assalamualaikum.
Hey, y'all. Hey.
Assalamualaikum. How is everyone?
Wonderful. And yourself?
Grateful and thankful to Allah. Woohoo. Yes. Right. How are you all in the audience out there? What's happening? Give us some love. Give us some love. Show us that you're here. Invite your friends and family.
And a comment in the chat.
Yes, you want to be in the place today.
I'm feeling alive in the house tonight.
Yes. So you see it. Subscribe, share, like.
Subscribe to the YouTube page.
Yes. Subscribe to YouTube. Yes.
It costs
we can
nothing.
build it up.
It costs nothing. Share.
Right.
Share with someone that you love. Share. Just for the sake of sharing to save lives.
Yes.
That's what we are doing here with this program.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are here to save lives and help you prolong your life. How about that?
It costs nothing but just to share.
Yep. So are we ready to prolong? You ready to prolong your life?
Let's go.
Are you ready to prolong your life?
Let's do this.
I am too. All right. So I'm going to introduce our co-host. I am, by Allah's grace, Sister Felicia Muhammad. Yes. And so grateful and thankful to be here with you. Yes. Praise be to Allah. We were raised not to brag on ourselves, right? But, in the teachings, we definitely have things that we can pat ourselves on the back for. So
absolutely.
There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Let's break that paradigm.
Absolutely.
Honor yourself, because if you don't, nobody else will.
That's right.
There's a Felicia. To my understanding, in some martial arts training, we do this, right? So there's nothing wrong with doing any of this.
Yes.
Nothing wrong with it at all.
It does a couple of things. It helps to get that blood circulating.
You're right.
Wake it up. So yeah. So next we have Brother Mark X. Mr. Brother Mark X. And
the other way is Sister Felicia.
Yeah.
Right there you go.
Me?
Don't
want me?
Who am I? Right there in the corner, we have the illustrious, the highly academic, Brother Tony Muhammad out of Miami.
Woo!
I don't know what I did to deserve that, but all praises due to Allah.
You're a representation of Allah and the person of Master Farah Muhammad, bro.
Come on.
Taught
Let's
by
talk
the
about
son
it.
of Elijah Muhammad and
Teach.
Jesus in our midst. I'm Mr. Louis Farrakhan. That's what you deserve. What?
That's right. That's right.
The four Jesuses. You the fourth one. Remember?
Come on, G.
Oh, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Uh-oh.
I'm
Be
just saying.
joking.
We
That's
forget about
right.
that. We forget about that. We better go back and study four Jesuses. Come on
That's
now.
right.
For such a time as this. And we
Who
have
is that?
the phenomenal, the magnetic,
Effervescent.
the powerful, the illustrious Sister Kalila.
Kalila!
Lila Muhammad.
I accept. I
You
accept. I accept. I accept.
Us.
Wuss.
I accept.
So, Brother
Praises be
Tony,
to Allah.
Damn.
how are we helping to save lives today? What ministry are we focusing on
Well,
today?
our program here tonight, Sister Felicia, let me begin properly. We always begin in the name of Almighty God, Allah. So,
Yes.
in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, the one God to whom holy praises are forever due, the Lord of the world, who came in the person of Master Bard Muhammad. I am forever thankful to Almighty God, Allah, for raising from among us, from the mick and mud of civilization,
That's right.
taking him to the pinnacle of civilization, and showing the example of what a man can be transformed into. He can be transformed into a living God. I thank Allah for raising this one right here,
That's right.
Yes, yes, yes.
the exalted Christ, the honorable, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad.
That's
And I
right.
thank them both for not leaving us alone and preparing one that would guide the multitudes of our people to better health, better wealth,
Come on, come
better
on.
way of life.
That's
That our
right.
people
That's
are
right.
very much in need of and very much deserve.
That's
I
right.
thank Allah for the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. In their divine names, I greet you in peace. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum
Greetings,
salam.
greetings, peace be unto you. Buenas noches, sak pase. Greetings in all of the languages of the righteous. Frida Land, Albaragani, all of that. Welcome to Thursday Night Talks, headed by the 7th Region Coalition to Help Save Lives. The 7th Region Coalition to Help Save Lives was founded by our student regional minister, Student Minister Patrick Muhammad, who may be tuning in right now.
That's right.
Our beloved brother assembled us for a very vital cause, and that was to warn our people in the midst of a pandemic about a dangerous experimental inoculation that many of our people have reported, just like other vaccinations that historically have been presented in this country. They're not safe.
That's right.
And that could be a topic as a follow-up for a future show. But right now we are guiding our people using the 9 ministries given to us by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan to better health and wealth and better way of life. The 9 ministries were introduced back in 2005 in the midst of the Millions More movement. And it was there that these 9 ministries were introduced. Tonight, we are focusing on the Ministry of Health and Human Services. This particular ministry provides for physical, mental, and emotional well-being of the members of the society. The goal of the Ministry of Health is the fulfillment of the intention of the Creator for every human being to achieve his or her potential for both longevity and good health throughout life. Its efforts extend to the family and the community as well as the individual. And so tonight's program is focused on prolonging our lives. And we have various segments in which we will be discussing how we can exactly do that.
Yes, sir. Awesome, awesome.
You're on mute.
Sister Felicia, you're on.
I guess it would matter that I unmute myself to be
Now,
heard,
now we could like
right?
kind of read your lips and go, yeah, I think she's saying.
Right.
Something.
All right. So everyone get ready and take copious notes. All right. And this is the life-changing,
And you could
life-saving
ask questions,
information.
family.
Yes, please put your
Yes, please
questions
ask
in.
questions.
We are,
Yes.
there may be some information that we will be presenting that you could present that will not be included in what we are discussing here tonight. Please feel free to comment away.
Right. And the disclaimer is please, always, this information is for, I will say, edutainment. So, education and entertainment. All right. And we are not doctors. All right. We are not doctors.
That's
And
right.
so, please consult your medical professional. All right. And again, this information that we are sharing is for infotainment purposes only. All right.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
let's take it away. Sister
Come on.
Kalila, what say you?
All right. Well, I'm going to start by first saying Assalamu alaikum in the most holy name of Allah. Always bear witness that there is no God but Allah and Muhammad is his messenger. Again, I would like to greet you all in the beautiful greeting words of peace in the Arabic language of Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum
Salam.
salam.
Listen, during my research, I have learned so much in regards to hydration. And that's going to be my segment presentation for today in regards to prolonging your life. So, first of all, I am an athlete by nature, by trade, by training,
By
and
choice.
by choice, right?
Experience.
And I
Praise
just
be to
love
Allah.
everything about athletics. I think the only sport I have not yet played was tennis, but I have
Mm,
pretty much played every sport.
okay.
So it was always important for me to stay hydrated. So that is going to be my segment for today. And most of this information is based off of experience that I have, proceeded to have throughout the course of my life, being a basketball player, running track, now doing kickboxing, as well as um, doing, oh my God, cycling now. So I
Mhm.
will be sharing pretty much what I know and what I have experienced. So staying hydrated. I want to go by, a couple of statistics that I have learned throughout the course of staying hydrated. It says dehydration is a serious medical condition that millions of people worldwide, including in the United States, have incurred. It specifies, according to some studies, 75% of adults in the US have chronically dehydration. 75%. Do you mean that 75% don't know that they're dehydrated? Absolutely. Absolutely. Drinking only 2.5 cups of water per day, which the average should be like 10 cups per day. That's just the average. Minimum is 10 cups per day. This can lead an decrease, when you're fatigued or when you are efficient with certain things in your life that you cannot get out of the bed sometimes. You can barely, I'm going to be using some little choice words, but but some things that pretty much you can't even do a BM, you can't urinate. These are all signs of dehydration.
Right.
So preventing this is to pretty much take your health very seriously, and increase your water intake. Okay.
Yes.
So that's very important. That's me and my new crew. I'll call us the three the hard way, because we are working hard to stay fit and lean. And basically, as I was researching a survey, that 3,003 Americans are found 75% likely to have net fluid loss, resulting to chronic dehydration. Chronic dehydration is actually below the scale of where you might have to be hospitalized, because there is not even a sufficient amount of water in order for you to even have to actually hydrate yourself. So that is very, very scary as it relates to the high rate of Americans that is found in that survey. Dehydration happens when you are losing fluids, when you take in, or when you don't drink enough fluids. Sometimes it will cause dehydration. Some dehydration will cause when you're sweating. I know when I work out, I sweat a lot. Therefore, I have to intake a lot in regards to fluids. If you're sick and you're constantly vomiting, or you have low, loose BM as it relates to diarrhea, you have to then, hydrate yourself to make sure that you are constantly staying equal with the fluid levels in your body. If you're running a fever, it will actually, anytime you use the word fever, the root cause of fever is heat. So what does heat does? What does heat do? Heat absorbs all of the fluids that's in your body. So when you have a fever, they say always to have either some type of electrolyte or some type of water to actually regain some type of energy or some type of fluid inside your bodies. There are also some medications for those of you who may take medications, as well as supplements. When you're taking medications, they always encourage you to either drink water or drink milk. Milk is a coping mechanism of the stomach that will prevent you from having ulcers or any type of bacteria that is caused from medication. So for those of you who are constantly on medication, I encourage you to be hydrated and get your fluids in. Supplements are great, but without water, supplements can also be deadly. So you have to hydrate yourself in regards to that. And then, of course, other causes that can also be a factor, which is if you are like dealing with a severe dehydration, it could be a number of things, including climate. Right now I'm in Florida and it's very, very hot. When you walk outside and you do not drink water, chances are you're going to fall out.
Just saying.
I'm just saying. For the people in the back, you are going to fall out. And then your level of physical activity, as well as dieting. So if your diet intake or if your food intake is not congruent with what and how you are actually maintaining your body, then chances are you are going to get dehydrated and you're going to lose fluids because you're dehydrated, and you're going to get very sick, and it's going to cause you to go to the hospital. Also, minor dehydrations can also cause blood pressure, heart rate increases, and then of course your body, temperature will also increase. And then I'm going based off of levels. So severe dehydration can also causes weakness and confusion. Extreme dehydration can cause kidney damage, brain damage, and even death.
Mm.
So it's very important for you to get these fluids inside your body every day, nonstop. These are some symptoms when you say, hey, am I dehydrated? Well, let's take a look at the symptoms. Because a lot of people are like, I drank some water. I drank water.
Yeah, come on with
I
the
said,
symptoms
okay,
now.
well, let's come up with exactly. So let's talk about the symptoms. Headaches. You're just getting these random headaches for God knows what reason. Fatigue, dizziness, dry mouth. Your tongue and your lips are very dry. I call it, Pookie on
Kalila.
the
New
Pookie
Jack
lips.
City.
The Pookie lips on New Jack City. If
Okay.
you develop the Pookie lips on New Jack City, that means that you are dehydrated.
Yeah.
Period.
New
Period,
Jack
point blank.
Jacksonville. Go ahead.
No tears when you're crying. So when you see a lot of people be like crying, and they be like, Josh wasn't even crying. She had no tears. Maybe she was dehydrated. She probably was really crying, but she's probably dehydrated. So there was no tears coming out. So that is one of the cases. If you're nauseous, if you're vomiting, for babies, if you few cases of fluid when they're using the restroom and they're not using the restroom a lot and they're crying, maybe there's a trachea infection there, or maybe they're dehydrated and that's why they're not flowing with a lot of fluids in their diapers, or no wet diapers at all over 8 hours. You're feeling thirsty. A lot of times your body will tell you, hey, I am thirsty. And it will react to what you need. Sometimes it reacts to what you want based off of how you maintain your diet, but it also will tell you what you need. And one thing, it will tell you that you are thirsty. Thirsty doesn't necessarily mean you're going to pop up a Sprite or a sun kiss. I went back there, didn't I? Or RCR Mellow Yellow. I went back, didn't I? Didn't I go back
Yeah, you
to the
did.
soda pop? None of that. Water, please. Water. Electrolytes. Dark urine. Strong smelling urine.
Dark yellow,
Funky
dark
beats.
orange.
Funky beats.
Lord,
Dark yellow urine. If your urine looks like apple juice,
for the
then it's
people who
not. Then you are dehydrated. Period. Your urine should not look like orange juice.
Oh my God.
If it looks like Pepsi Cola, go to
Now, if it looks like, you don't have to give people, this some visuals. If your urine looks like lemonade, then that's a good thing. But it has to be clear, because if it's not clear, then guess what? You're dealing with something else that you need to actually get some detox. But yes, dark urine, dehydration. Get you some fluids. Peeing less than often. Hey, how many times do you urinate each day? Do you urinate every time you drink water or you drink fluids? If that's not the case, then maybe you're dehydrated, and when you're drinking water, it's actually replenishing what you did not replenish when you either worked out or, sweat or anything of that nature. But you have to drink more water in order for you to balance that. And then, of course, feeling dizzy and lightheaded, which we already discussed. All right, moving on. All right, that's me with my water bottle. I listen, I have my water bottle, try to have my water bottle at least with me every day. And that water bottle is a really good water bottle because it's like a motivational water bottle. So it tells me, hey, it's time to drink this time. And it gives you the times where you should drink. And then it
Yes.
also says at the bottom, bottom, like you rock at the very end. So it's always good to have that that motivation to drink your water. So it's always good to do that. That's me leaving boxing because because you have to constantly drink water when I'm doing what I'm doing. But I want to give you some facts. Some people think that the benefits, some people think that understanding benefits of hydration, meaning that staying hydrated all the time, is just with water. Most people think that water, meaning that you're just drinking just water, meaning that you're hydrated. Well, unfortunately, that's not correct. You have to drink more than just water to be hydrated. You have to also add electrolytes. Electrolytes is a combination of sodium and potassium. You have to have sodium and potassium in order to create electrolytes. So let's talk about electrolytes. Electrolytes are very important, okay? Especially if you are constantly dehydrated, okay? So let's talk about electrolytes because hydration is water equals electrolytes, okay? Because your body loses electrolytes when you sweat or when you're outside. So you have to rebuild those electrolytes in your blood and in your body. Because again, have you ever seen a person that bled and their blood completely went dry? That means that they have not, they're dehydrated and they need water in order for their blood to even flow. That's why a lot of people have blood clogs because they don't drink enough water or get electrolytes in their body. So let's break down what sodium does to the body and what potassium does to the body as well. Now, with sodium maintains the fluid balance outside of the cells, while potassium maintains the fluid balance in the inside of the cells. So that's why they work together. Okay. So it is important for you to have both. All right. So that's a very good lesson in regards to that. Moving on. All right. So you have hydrated foods and dehydrated foods. What is a dehydrated food? Yes, it is a dehydrated food. And that's why we're so dehydrated, because of the food intake that we take in, it sometimes dehydrates us. So we have to make sure that we know what the foods that hydrate us and what the foods that dehydrate us. So with the foods that hydrate us are, of course, strawberries, which I wish I could eat, but I'm allergic to, cucumber, watermelon, celery, tomatoes, lettuce, spinach, cantaloupe, and oranges. And there are a lot of other ones. My favorite is grapes. I love a grape.
The seeds in them.
With seeds, of course, with seeds. And then you know what, too, I also found, Sister Felicia, that there are natural grapes that do not have seeds.
Oh, okay.
And those are your smaller grapes, because when they're small, they're coming straight off the vine. They don't have seeds. And if they do, they have like really tiny, tiny, tiny seeds that, us, we being so gluttony, we'll just pop it right in our mouth and don't even just eat the seed while we eating the grape. But there is a such thing. There you go.
Yeah,
so
it does get me very concerned when you go to Whole Foods and it says organic seedless grapes.
Right, because there is a such thing. It really is a such thing. So that is important. Dehydrated foods, salty foods. Those who like salt on their food all the time,
Potato chips.
please. Oh my God, potato chips. That's something, it will completely dehydrate you. Processed foods dehydrate
About
you.
that. Mm-hmm.
Sugary drinks like soda and juices, even your natural juices, sometimes it's very sugary. That's why you have to have that balance. Like you can do like a cucumber strawberry, or a cucumber watermelon, or a cucumber, kiwi. Just making it balanced to where you'll have both, to balance that sugar level. Alcohol. I'm talking to the alcoholics. Um, Alcohol will dehydrate you.
Among other things.
Among other things. Well, I'm just talking, look, but my topic of discussion is
Right.
hydration. Dehydration, I'm telling you, alcohol will dehydrate you. And keep in mind, even with skin, when you're dehydrated, your skin starts showing that you're dehydrated. When you don't see a shine on your skin, then you'll know if a person is dehydrated based off of their skin, based off of even how they talk. Some people talk and you can hear their tongue, going back and forth at the top of their mouth, because they don't have no fluids in their mouth. In order for you to even talk properly, you have to have some type of fluid in your mouth.
I cannot.
And of course, spicy foods.
I like my spicy foods. Is it Kalu?
Listen,
Drink plenty of water, bro.
plenty of water. Plenty of water.
Plenty of water.
All right. So treatments for chronic dehydration. In order to place electrolytes, in order to replace electrolytes and fluid loss, eat lots of vegetables. As we discussed, some of the vegetables and fruit, which are very easy to digest. Keep in mind, you only have one stomach. You cannot replace your stomach.
True.
I repeat, you cannot replace your stomach. Now you can get a bag to add to the stomach, but you cannot replace your stomach. So these things are easy to digest and they will hydrate you. Okay. Avoid juices, even fresh, like I was just indicating, even fresh ones, try to avoid it or try to balance it out with a vegetable. They like fiber, stimulate hunger, because when you start drinking a lot of sweet things, it makes you hungry. It makes you even hungrier. You know what I mean? So try to avoid that. And try to contain natural sugars like watermelon. Right now it's watermelon season. Try to maintain watermelon. That'll be a good fix for you. And another great treatment is solution is to use IV rehydration. Yes, I love it. Listen, if there is a clinic, if you pull up IV therapy, they sometimes they could come to you. You can come to them, and you can just get an IV full of this nutrition. And because what they're doing, honestly, when you go to the hospital and you dehydrated, the only thing they're doing is putting sodium in you and potassium. That's it. And that little clear water, that's all they put it in you, is sodium and potassium to get you back up and running. All right. So just be mindful of that. And last but not least, stay hydrated and fabulous.
Beautiful presentation.
Nice.
Thank you.
Awesome. It's a learning experience.
Cool. Yes. Any questions? You all put your questions in the chat. We'll definitely get to them.
Does the coalition have any questions?
Yes. Do y'all have any questions for me?
Well, yeah, sister. So I guess
Okay.
a free easy way for me to monitor my hydration level is whenever I urinate, I check the color, right?
Please
Yes.
check it.
That's a clear indicator. Literally.
Yes. And even with your urine,
clear.
I mean, even with your BMs, you know, a lot of times when you're doing a BM and your BM,
BM is for bowel movement for those
yeah,
in the
bowel
back.
movement. I'm trying to be.
Thank you, Sister Felicia.
Yeah, bowel movement. If your bowels are flowing, like if they floating, that's not a good indication that you're hydrated.
What?
They have to drop at the bottom.
Go down.
Yes.
Drop it like it's hot.
Drop it like it's hot. So that's another indication too, as it relates to
wow.
You know.
I can see why Sister Felicia said this is edutainment.
Yes. So
laugh and learn.
Definitely be mindful and look at it. Don't be afraid to look at your your urine. You have to.
Here's a testimony, Sister Felicia and Sister Kalila. This is a testimony. I've increased my water intake when I because I mean this is something I have to monitor.
Right.
Before I would take about 4 bottles of water when I'm out in the field with the Final Call newspaper, which we're going to get into in just a moment. But at a certain point, I was like, no, I got to double up here.
Right.
And because we're in the heat, this heat right now is not like the heat in the past.
Right.
Stay hydrated. Don't think that you are Superman, FOI. You are Superman, but not like that. Make sure you stay hydrated. I
agree. And we're getting younger. So by us getting younger, we have to be more conscious of our hydration. I mean, you have people that can go to the hospital and they cannot even find a vein simply because they have not even been drinking water.
Mm. Wow.
What, Sister Kalila, what do you say to people that say that they don't like to drink water? Because we have plenty of people like that.
That's a good question. That's an excellent question.
Put some lemon. Oh,
yes. Okay. Yeah. No, but yeah, absolutely. You were going right where I was going to go. And I showed some just some examples of what you can do, like with the lemon and water. You can do lemon and water. You can even do a lemon water and a touch of honey. Not much to make it so sweet, but make it to the point where it's tasteful. You can also add, which I love, you can add a mint. Mint is so good when you're dealing with mint cucumber and celery drink. Oh my God. Yes. Bring that question up. This is a good question. Absolutely. It does. Let me explain why. I am a coffee drinker. This is another reason why I have to drink water every day, constantly. Because not only do I work out, I have an 8-ounce cup of coffee every morning. So it will, especially caffeine. Caffeine will dehydrate you.
It
will dehydrate you.
We got to double up on the water.
Yes.
So you should be drinking half your body weight in ounces of water. So
but not only that, even with that, Sister Felicia, because we are coffee drinkers, we have to drink more than that.
Yeah, you got to drink more. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and even with the salty foods,
Yeah. If you are drinking coffee, you definitely gotta double that what you drink.
Right.
So.
Yeah, babe, absolutely. Coffee does not hydrate you at all. I mean, because a lot of times, and another indication too, for the smokers. Smoking also dehydrate you. So even like it's a lot of people that you will find that smoke tobacco. and even smoke marijuana, their skin start becoming very, very pilly and very, very scaly. And that's simply because even with smoking, it's sucking pretty much the life out of you. So that's why, most people be like, how old you is? Oh, I'm only 15. You look like you're 30. Because if they've been smoking ever since they've been 11, then yeah, you're going to be aging backwards.
Sister
Well,
Kalila,
aging forward.
if
Yes.
if I may, because
Yes.
our lungs and our blood and our brains are meant to intake oxygen. What we're
Right.
doing is we're intaking carbon monoxide.
Right.
And see, with carbon, it's like what we're doing is literally taking ourselves to the grave. We're replacing the oxygen with something that causes death.
Well, keep in mind, let's look at the table 2.0. So what I mean, oxygen, it makes oxygen and nitrogen, it makes water, right? So without, you have to have water, have oxygen in order for you to even make water. If that makes sense to people.
Absolutely.
So you just have to be mindful of that as well. And try to get some it's the braces, y'all. A dehumidifier in your house. Because it's very important for your house as far as circulation goes.
Are you trying to say a humidifier?
I'm sorry, y'all. It's the braces. Yes, please.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Humidifier. Yes,
Yeah.
humidifier. For the circulation in your house, it's very important as well. Any other questions? That was a good question, Sister Johanna. Jelana. She know what I'm talking about. She my girl. That's my sister. That's my sister from Bronxville, Georgia. But yes, so definitely tighten up on your hydration and also kidneys. A lot of us are at stage 3, stage 4 kidney disease, and we don't even know it because we're not drinking enough fluids.
Right.
So just be mindful of that as well. And that's all I have. Oh, any other questions? All right, I'm passing it over to you, Sister Felicia.
All right. Everybody give Sister Kalila a warm round of applause. Woohoo! Thank you so much. Thank you. So next we have our brother, the illustrious one, Brother Tony
You like saying that
Muhammad out
word
of Miami.
illustrious.
I do. Because it's true.
All right, so let me
Brother
share
Tony.
here. It's an honor, dear family, always. All right, so dear family, if you have not gotten this copy of the Final Call newspaper, I'm gonna share it real quick. Let me unshare real quick. All of you can see this copy of the Final Call newspaper.
Yes.
The title of it is "Prolonging Your Life." If you have not gotten this copy, you could go digitally online to finalcall.com or visit your local mosque or study group in your city. You want to get this copy because it speaks to the invaluable nature of How to Eat to Live, which is a 2-volume set of books written by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And the knowledge that where it's coming from, it says in the very top, from God in person. Sister Felicia, you're going to go more into this in just a little bit. But this particular article, which hit the front cover of the Final Call newspaper, focuses on health risks of ultra-processed foods. Study bears witness to how to eat to live. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad warned us about the dangers of processed foods back in the 1960s.
Right.
In which he talked about chemical scientists trying to enhance the flavoring or of foods that are processed. We're going to go into that in just a little bit. And so the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, it says here in this article, These are some major highlights of the article. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad, in his life-saving 2-volume book, How to Eat to Live, from God in Person, Master Fard Muhammad, has for more than 50 years been teaching the benefits of eating natural foods at the proper times for prolonged life and good health. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us a method of how to eat to live. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan stated in an article written, it's entitled "The War Against Obesity," that came out in the, I believe, in the previous edition of the Final Call newspaper. The scholars and scientists of nutrition are now bearing witness that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was far ahead of the entire world of medical science on proper diet and eating habits, 1 meal a day. The minister wrote in part 1 of a 1991 series published in the Final Call, a new study indicating that ultra-processed foods are linked to cognitive decline and stroke, with elevated risks in Black people, joining this to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's work. One thing I'm going to say to that is I bear witness to that because soon after lunchtime, a lot of my students who've been snacking on ultra processed Takis and other
Oh
snacks.
my God.
It's like they shut down, literally. We have to eliminate these things from our homes, dear family. Also mentioned in this article, I'm having a little difficulty seeing this here because of the StreamYard. But in essence, when you're adding these food additives, foods that are altered with additives and preservatives, which have become staples in the diets of countless Americans, are associated with an increase in risk of stroke and cognitive impairment, according to researchers in Massachusetts General Hospital. My words are there merging. My PowerPoint did not look like that originally. The StreamYard is doing something funky with my presentation here. But ultra processed foods are causing a decline in health.
Yes.
Just overall. And so we've been known, Dr. Ridgely, who is Dr. Ridgely Muhammad, who is over Muhammad Farms. He is quoted in this article, and he talks about how we've been knowing this, but of course the enemy hasn't been talking about it because when you're dealing with ultra processed foods, this is big business in America.
Right.
My family, who grew up in Cuba, they didn't know anything about no supermarkets until they came to the United States. I mean, there was a market, but there was no supermarket. And so these are people that had some of the best health, people that lived in the countryside. They had some of the best health because they weren't feeding on this garbage called ultra processed foods. In this article, it says, according to researchers, ultra processed foods include packaged baked goods and snacks, fizzy drinks, which is colas, and also some of us like to drink water that's like fizzy, whatever. That's also not good for us because it causes weight gain. Sugary cereals, very bad for us. Ready meals containing food additives, dehydrated vegetable soups, and reconstituted meat and fish.
We lose him.
We lose him.
Okay.
I thought it was
back.
me.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm back. I don't know what happened there. Enemy trying to take me out, but you ain't taking me out. Anyway,
You can't have him.
I'm back. Anyway, so here it says they are often highly saturated with added sugar. Talking about all of these ultra processed foods. They're also saturated with salt. You could read the ingredients on the side of any package where it says sodium. You got to be very careful with that. If you're seeing something like 16 milligrams of sodium or 1,200 milligrams of sodium, be very careful with those kind of food. I wouldn't even buy them.
Right.
They are that is really
It's blood pressure, high blood pressure food.
you're going to end up having high blood pressure with that. But the sodium is needed in order to maintain the food, the shelf life of the food, really. So you have to be very careful with that. But these foods are not real foods. The article goes into how they're really denatured foods. They have all these chemicals in it, and it's really lacking the vitamins and nutrients that the body needs. It's better to just go ahead and make your own food. The study further found that increased consumption of ultra-processed foods resulted in a 9% higher risk of stroke and a 12% increased risk of cognitive decline, and that the association between ultra-processed foods and stroke was greater among Black participants, which is 15% increased risk, possibly reflecting this group's higher incidence of hypertension. And the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, just bearing witness to How to Eat to Live, he talks about how if we take on our enemy's diet, that it'll have a more a severe impact on our health than it does with white people.
Yes, sir.
In addition, the researchers looked at specific diets that encourage fresh fruits and vegetables while minimizing red and processed meats, and found that they were independently associated with reduced risk of stroke and cognitive decline, noted lead author Baron Bave of Harvard Medical School.
Brother Tony, I just noticed that the food was spelling out fat. That is hilarious. That is hilarious. I was
this is literally in the article. Brother Tony did not come up with it himself. Special shout out to Sister Charlene who wrote this
shout out. Final call.
Sister Charlene
on the West Coast. Thank you for writing this beautiful article. So also these researchers found that eating more minimally processed or unprocessed foods was associated with consummate improvements in brain health and reduction in serious neurological outcomes. Dr. Wrigley said it's about time that medical science is bearing witness to this.
Right.
So let's the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He says, take time and prepare your own foods. Do not kill yourself by running to the store buying processed foods to eat, and never buy those ready-made biscuits. What is ready-made biscuits? Those are processed foods.
Love that chicken for pie. Them biscuits.
Processed biscuits.
No.
Pastries and cakes are the kind made with crusts of white flour and sweetened with white sugar. So sweet you can still taste them the next day, are not good for our stomachs. All this hastens you to the graveyard sooner than you would like to go.
By God.
We should eat fruit and fruit pies. I love that little black blueberry pie, huckleberry, as we call it in the South. But do not make it with white sugar or crust of white flour. Use brown sugar and whole wheat flour for your pie and cobbler.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So let's give a special round of applause to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad for saying that.
You saved my life.
Guess who else is quoted in the article?
Oh no.
Okay.
Brother, Dr.
Our brother.
Akili Muhammad.
My brother.
Okay.
And I bear witness completely to
we got to get Brother Akili back on the show too.
We have to. He says we definitely have to pause and take a look at the destruction of Black people's health. In slavery, we were very malnourished, very sickly.
Yeah.
We were dying at a young age. The average age of a black person in America towards the end of slavery was 27 years old, says
Wow.
Dr. Akili Muhammad. When black people were so-called freed, their life expectancy tripled into the 60s. But that changed when they had to depend on grocery stors for food, he continued. When we started integrating with our open enemy, that's when that started happening. Our life expectancy, has been coming back down, and the disease processes have been skyrocketing in our community. So we look forward to having our brother on. If he's
Yes.
Really, shout out. Yeah.
Now, modified food starch. I wanted to highlight just a couple of things here for our audience. This is not mentioned in the article, but modified food starch is an example of ultra-processed foods. Modified food starch is typically obtained from a variety of sources like wheat, corn, potato, or tapioca. This greatly processed carbohydrate adds roughly 30 calories or 7 grams of carbs in each teaspoon. So if we're eating chips that contain modified cornstarch, Sister Kalila, Sister Felicia, Brother Mark, see, like, have you ever gone through a whole bag of chips and like not even realized it, didn't read the ingredients in it?
It's been a minute. It's been a minute.
Yeah, I know.
It's been a minute.
But look at what we are consuming. So it is freely used in the food industry in everything from candies to baked goods, yogurt, ice cream, and meats. It serves as a large variety of functions like enhancing shelf life. Another thing that it does is it keeps whatever you're eating, like if it's a cake, it keeps it together. But the problem is it's processed, and it's not good for us. This is the website that I got this information from. You're gonna laugh at the name. I put it at the top. IsItBadForYou.com? Yes, it is bad for you. Again, I don't know why StreamYard is doing this to my presentation, but oh Lord, dear God, what did I write there? While the original sources, I hate this.
Don't say that. No hate. No hate.
While the original sources has a few problems.
Thank you, Brother Mark. It is when the starch from these sources is chemically, physically, or I'm going to pronounce this word properly, enzymatically treated,
that's actually correct.
Hence modified to allow it to have the desired properties that we run into trouble. An ingredient labeled reading modified starch is most likely to have been treated with things like sulfuric acid. Do you want to put that in your body? Think about it.
Chlorine. Sulfuric acid.
Does chlorine belong in our bodies? No, you use that to, use that to keep the pool fresh, but it does not belong in the human body.
Right.
Or other chemicals which are not altogether safe for consumption. Modified food starch is frequently composed of around 10% maltodextrin, which camouflages the existence of monosodium glutamate. And this is another chemical. I'm not going to read the rest of this, but that's another chemical that oftentimes when we eat some kind of processed foods and we have a headache, more than likely there was some monosodium glutamate or MSG in the product. Be very careful, family. This is all very experimental. Monosodium glutamate is used as a taste enhancer, if you will.
It's on a lot of the fried rice, the vegetable fried rice, the chicken fried rice. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And you can request, you can ask them. That's what they use to brown it,
Right.
They use white rice. Yeah.
If you're going to go and get to Chinese takeout, absolutely, Sister Felicia, you could ask them if they cook with MSG. And you have to be very careful with that because they might lie to you and tell you no.
Right,
be very careful.
And it's a cancer. It's a known carcinogen, cancer-causing agent.
Wow.
Yeah.
My God.
You know,
So
And
here's
because we
another one.
already have cancer cells in us,
Wow.
Right.
when the environment becomes too acidic, then that's when they start to go wild and be like, "Woo,
Yeah, we got something.
got a
We
party.
alive. It's alive. It's alive.
So the pH of the body balance is really important. You know, your maintaining your homeostasis is really important. So yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Now I use a different picture with this. I can see that StreamYard is messing with my presentation here, but anyway, uh, food dyes. That's another problem. That's an integral part of what you find in processed foods. Food dyes are chemical substances that are developed to enhance the appearance of food by giving it artificial color. People have added coloring to food for centuries, but the first artificial food coloring were created in 1856 from, get this, coal tar. Is that
Oh,
something that you would
Todd.
put into your body?
What?
Cold tar.
Coal
What?
tar.
What?
I guess somebody made a discovery and they stopped using it. So nowadays, food
Mm.
dyes are made from petroleum. Petroleum. What's
Mm.
petroleum? Petroleum
That
is
petroleum jelly.
Gasoline
That's
uh-huh.
Vaseline.
Does
Vaseline.
that belong in the human body? Come on.
Absolutely not. It don't even belong on the body.
on the
No.
body, right?
Over the years, hundreds of artificial food dyes have been developed, but a majority of them have since been found to be toxic. There are only a handful of artificial dyes that are still used in food.
Mm.
Food manufacturers often prefer artificial food dyes over natural food coloring, such as beta carotene and beet extract, because they produce a more vibrant color. And so be very warned. This is the website here where I got this information from is from healthline.com. I'm highlighting the sources because I don't want any of you to think that this is a Muslim trick source. No,
Ha!
we got this
That is
from
hilarious.
the authorities out there. This is the picture I used. I don't know why it didn't come out in the previous slide, but according to the article, however, there is quite a bit of controversy regarding the safety artificial dyes that are currently used in food have gone through testing for toxicity in animal studies. Regulatory agencies like the U.S. Food and Drug Administration and the European Food Safety Authority have concluded that dyes do not pose significant health risks. I like this part of the article. Not everyone agrees with that conclusion, including members of the Nation of Islam. Interestingly, some food dyes are deemed safe in one country, but banned from human consumption in another, making it extremely confusing to assess their safety. So there are certain countries, especially in Europe and Latin America, that absolutely ban uh, um, these type of
That's right.
food dyes. And
Yes,
so
sir.
you can clearly tell this is a breakdown of the typical food dyes that are used out there. There's red number 3, red 40 Lake, which is extremely common. These red dyes were used in things like M&Ms back in the 80s, and then they brought them back. They felt like it was okay. It's not harmful anymore. No, there was a reason why you took them off. You took them off the market. Oftentimes, these colored dyes are linked with in children hyperactivity, and a lot of teachers in particular complain about these kind of things. So where this came from was in 1973, a pediatric allergist claimed that hyperactivity and learning problems in children were caused by artificial food coloring and preservatives in food. One clinical study, the National Center for Biotechnology Information, found that removing artificial food dyes from the diet, along with a preservative called sodium benzoate, significantly reduced hyperactive symptoms. That's proof in the pudding right there. A small study, also by the National Center for Biotechnology Information, found that 73% of children with ADHD showed a decrease in symptoms when artificial food dyes were removed from the diet. Another study, National Center for Biotechnology Information, found that food dyes along with sodium benzenate increased hyperactivity in both 3-year-olds and a group of 8 and 9-year-olds.
Fruit Loops.
Mm-hmm. Get rid of them from your home if they're there.
Fruit to the loop. with no fruit in them. Ha!
No food at all, with a lot of modified cornstarch. Felicia. This word.
Well, that used to be my cereal now. That used to be my cereal now.
Dear Lord.
Fruit Loops? Oh my God. Yes. What?
Fruit to the loop. Skip to the loop by Fruit Loop. Skip.
Also known as Yellow 5, has been associated with behavioral changes, including irritability, restlessness, depression, and difficulty with sleeping. What's more, a 2004 analysis of 15 studies concluded that artificial food dyes do increase hyperactivity in children. So don't try to second guess yourself. The last thing I'm presenting here, which I'm going to be very short on this, high fructose corn syrup. If you have any drinks at home that contain high fructose corn syrup, any product that contains this ingredient right here, get rid of it.
Definite syrup.
No. Scissor.
Definite syrup.
This is a real scissor right here.
It is a real scissor.
Get rid of it. Get rid of it. It is estimated that 50% of the U.S. population by the year 2030, some say 2035, will be diabetic, if not borderline diabetic.
My God.
For the mark. High fructose corn syrup. This was first invented in the 1960s. That's why you don't see it in How to Eat to Live. But if it was around during the time of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, when he was among us, he would have included it in How to Eat to Live.
Oh yeah.
Right.
This is a processed corn syrup. It's not real corn syrup. It's been chemicalized. High fructose corn syrup starts as cornstarch, which is nothing more than a link of glucose molecules. When separated into individual molecules, it becomes corn syrup, or 100% glucose. To the simple sugar, HFCS adds enzymes that convert some glucose into fructose, another simple sugar. The high in high fructose corn syrup refers to the amount of the fructose compared to pure glucose corn syrup. The typical form of high fructose corn syrup entails either 42% or 55% fructose, according to the Food and Drug Administration.
And Drug Administration.
The rest is glucose and water. The FDA recommends that people limit consumption of all added sugars, including high fructose corn syrup. If that's the case, you should eliminate it from the market. We say don't take it at all. Fructose corn syrup was first released on the market during the Reagan administration in the 80s. The cola companies were looking for a cheap source of like a sugar to sweeten their drinks, and hence it produced high fructose. It added high fructose corn syrup to their colas. The article continues. It's the fructose in both table sugar and high fructose corn syrup. Each is about half glucose, half fructose. That's most detrimental to our health. Our bodies break down starch, derived carbohydrates like rice, into glucose. That's a vital exercise energy source and readily distributed throughout our body. Fructose, however, must be converted by the liver to glucose, glycogen, or fat before being advisable an energy source. In fact, because the body doesn't know what to do with the high fructose corn syrup, it goes straight into the liver, and people that drink a lot of drinks and eat a lot of food that contain high fructose corn syrup, they start developing what's called fatty liver, and that leads, of course, to diabetes. And so that is my presentation right now, dear family.
Wow.
Praises be to Allah. Ooh,
Praise
Lord.
be to Allah. Yay.
Wealth of information.
Please forgive my
Edutainment. Edutainment.
Listen, I promise you, I thought I was in a professor class at Harvard University.
I told you. Didn't I tell you?
I was like, "Ooh, Lord, this is too much. Am I gonna fail this class tonight?"
Are there any questions?
Listen, it was so funny. I want to comment. I know back in the days, my mother and my auntie used to eat starch raw.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, straight out the box.
Wow.
Go down to the store and get me some starch. And they eat it out the box. And it was something that their mother, ate, and other people in the neighborhood. It was just like they was eating it like it was fruits and vegetables. So just imagine how painful our family members in the 60s and 70s died from this painful death of fatty liver, right? Sugar look, they call it sugar diabetes,
Right.
and hypertension, because of all of these things that it was a craving. These dyes were cravings. They long for these things, to intake, and it was taking them out while we were intaking it in. So just encouraging, things in regards to that. But great job, Brother Tony. I appreciate it.
Awesome.
My whole thing, when we go to the supermarket, it can become like going to chemistry class.
Right, you're right.
If you're reading, first of all, if a package, you're buying a package of food, and it contains like 50 ingredients on it, and like the majority of them you can't even pronounce what it's saying, don't buy it.
Don't buy it.
It's like sometimes I take my time, like, okay, I'm gonna buy the, okay, woo, what does it say here? No, right. I'm not getting that. What does it say? No, I'm not getting that. And sometimes they change ingredients on you.
You know what they always said too, as far as the supermarket, if you actually focus on the outskirts of the supermarket and not the inside part, because most of the inside part has the processed food versus the outside realm of the is more so of the fresh food. Most of the times, it all depends on which market you go to. But yes, absolutely.
Yes. All right. Well, I get the next. Oh my gosh.
It's
okay.
Sister Felicia.
What you gonna do?
What we gonna do? Next. Okay, so let me share the screen. Okay. I only have one monitor, so okay. Window.
Oh, I got one
here.
mic.
This one right
You're
here.
Like, no, I only got one mic.
All right. And we're coming. Can you all see my screen?
Nope.
Not yet.
No, ma'am.
Are you serious?
No.
It says StreamYard.com is sharing a window.
No, you got to go to.
Hold on, let me see here.
Oh, is it this one?
Get her, Sister Khalila. Get her.
Yeah, it's that one.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. What you do?
I just do it. I just did it, and it was done.
Okay. Yeah, I hit screen sharing. All right. So we have. Don't close this window. All right. So we have on page 78 of How to Eat to Live, and this is book 1. Train yourself to eat as Allah has advised. So we're just going to go through some key points on pages 78 and 79 of the book. All right. So guidance for health and longevity. Okay. So to keep, quote, this is an exact quote from the book, to keep healthy and strong and live a long time as this old earth, Allah said to me, on this old earth, Allah said to me in the person of Master Muhammad, eat one meal every 2 or 3 days. Do not be frightened, brothers and sisters, that with your meal hours being likened, you may die or become too hungry. You will live and you will not be hungry after you have gotten your stomach used to the long intervals between meals. All right. So this kind of doing some overlap here, but that's okay. So we see we got our illustrious Navy beans up here.
Yeah.
And we can eat a variety of beans, and that Navy bean is our staple because it's a whole food. It has our fat, it has our carb, it has our protein. All right. And definitely you can live off of Navy beans alone. Okay. So not that you want to, but should you need to. Okay. You got some water, got you some Navy beans. Okay. You good. Okay. So 1 meal every 2 or 3 days. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, quote, I used to think like you before the coming of God and Savior in the person of Master Muhammad, to whom praise is due forever. I began practicing eating 1 meal every day with no food in between. I got used to that within a couple of weeks, and after a certain length of time, I tried eating once every 2 days with nothing in between but coffee. All right. So keeping it really simple and complex, keeping it really simple. Do you have sugar with your coffee? Now, most of you Muslims, I'm just saying, most of you Muslims have sugar with your coffee. I don't drink coffee.
I don't put sugar in my coffee.
I know a lot of Muslims
coffee with their sugar.
who have sugar with their coffee. All right. So the messenger says, I did not try to pour all of the cream and the sugar out of the cream and sugar bowls into the coffee. I sweetened and creamed it as I had done when I was eating 3 meals a day, because we can live on cream and sugar for a long time. But it is not good that we do this through our coffee for our health's sake. I felt better eating 1 meal every 2 days or 48 hours with nothing in between.
Good God Almighty.
That's beautiful.
All right. So this how he felt.
Felicia, no frappuccinos in between your
right, because it cures the hunger. It satisfies you. It activates. Yeah, it cures the hunger. All right. So intervals between eating. Quote, I also tried eating 1 meal every 72 hours, as he told me.
That's 3 days.
That's 3 days. That if I ate 1 meal every 3 days, I would never be sick. And I thought I would try it before teaching it. So I did for a few months, and I felt better than I felt when I was eating 1 meal every 48 hours. And I can bear witness that I did not have the symptoms of illness at any time. What? See that black man in the nature and in the cosmos?
Wow.
Okay.
Like he just glowing. You got that glow.
That's your 4th dimensional self. And the one that's on the ground, that's your 3rd dimensional self. All right. So when you are out in nature, see yourself.
Talk to us, sister.
Ooh, see yourself being the God in every cell, every muscle, every tissue, every fiber of your being. Okay, come on, let's go. All right. So specific dietary recommendations. Quote, it is not so much that what you eat when you begin eating 1 meal every day or every 2 or 3 days. It is just that you do not eat foods that are against your health. I have described in this book time and time again that which he pointed out to me, but most people, poor people like us, eat the inexpensive food because we do not have the money to buy expensive foods that rich millionaires eat. So he prescribed for us dry beans, dry navy beans, bread, and milk. All right.
Period.
So I didn't put the McDonald's and all that on here. I wanted you to
Right.
have what we should have as a staple in our dietary plan. So, like he said, it's not so much that what you eat when you begin eating one meal every day or every 2 or 3 days. It is just that you do not eat foods that are against your health.
That's
All
Mm.
right.
right. All right.
What's this?
Sardines and other foods.
Ay,
So
ay,
he
ay.
says, he says there are some people asking about eating sardines. They are not for us to eat only if we are traveling. They are not for us to eat only if we're traveling and cannot get our foods. But please do not buy them unless they are fresh when you can clean them and not those that are packed already. There are some that are packed that are clean, but they are a little expensive and they are called Portuguese sardines. All right. So make sure that the sardines are cleaned and get you some Portuguese sardines because this book was written um, back in the 60s. And so you definitely have access to resources now where you may not be a millionaire and you
Right.
can you
But you
can
ain't
buy the
po.
you yeah, but you ain't, you're not poor. You can buy some Portuguese sardines, okay? Get you some Portuguese sardines. And sardines are also good for our survival kit as well, for our survival. All right. So you have options. There are other herbs that we can eat but are not mentioned here in this book. Or whenever you decide on eating something that is not mentioned in this book, write me because there are some on the market that are not good for you and me. All right. So yes,
All
we do have
right.
access where you can inquire if you have a question because we're always talking about it. Okay. So you're not alone. Okay. We are here for you. All right. And that is it.
Woo! Sister Felicia,
Any
I have a
yes.
question.
Uh-huh.
So you indicated that you can eat other beans. I
Mm-hmm.
thought that we only keep supposed to eat the navy bean,
Well, it mentions, I think is it in book 2 where we can eat the small pink bean?
which is the navy bean, right?
The small pink bean or the
Yeah, it's the navy bean.
The different,
right.
Because you have different
different
color
colors.
beans of a navy bean. Some of them are pink and some of them are, of course, the tan. But
We can
he,
also eat the black bean.
well, that's suspect. We still that was a pop quiz in
I missed that
regards
class.
to, yeah,
I
it was
missed
a
that
pop
class.
quiz on the how to eat the live. Could we eat the black bean?
Mm-hmm.
And it specified, if it's not in how to eat the live, then don't eat it.
Yeah,
So
Okay.
yeah.
Thank you
yeah.
for clarifying that. Yes, yes. Okay. Yes, yes, yes.
And it had some other things that it contained, but
Mm-hmm.
hey, with all else fail, keep it simple.
Yeah, keep it simple. That's true. Yep. Okay. Any other questions, comments?
Yes, and also I wanted to add too about fish. Some fish also, because it has mercury in it,
Mm-hmm.
it also dehydrates you.
Oh,
So you have to
okay.
be very
Okay.
mindful of eating or containing fish that contains a lot of mercury. Because keep in mind, mercury is iron. Iron,
Mm-hmm.
it dehydrates you. So be careful about certain fish. Well, you know what
Yeah.
fish we do not supposed to eat, but
To eat,
definitely,
right.
if you're If you a pescatarian and that's what you eat on a daily basis, if that's your daily regimen, just be careful of the mercury that's in the fish and
Right.
where you're getting the fish from. That's very
Right.
important.
Right.
Mhm.
Right. Right. And mercury in your fillings too. If you have fillings,
Right,
they're filled with mercury
right,
too. So yeah, that will
yeah.
contribute.
I
Yeah.
just got all my little um back in the days old school mercury right up out of my mouth. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's
Yep.
important.
Yep. 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 All right, brother Mark, are you ready?
It's on me. All
Ready,
right, let's do
ready,
this.
Freddie, ready, Freddie, ready, Freddie.
All right, all right, all
Coming
right.
live from his mansion,
Okay,
his AI mansion.
I'm gonna just say slide, please. Thank you. All right. So my subject is dealing with supplementation. Supplement is simply means that something is lacking and you're trying to make it whole. So in the event of this nutritional chart, we should all know that this magnificent gift from God called the human body, it has to run on essential vitamins and minerals.
That's true.
And of course, we extract that from food. And so this is just a list. I'm not going to go over everything, but this is just an example of a daily value chart of the various vitamins, minerals. You also have fat and carbohydrate. These are the essential items and the amounts that your body needs. We want to focus on vitamins and minerals in particular because vitamins and minerals are essential. And if your body doesn't get what it needs, it can lead to a sickness or illness. Slide, please. Now, I wanted to talk about God's medicine and man's medicines.
Mm.
Medicines. I like it. Ooh, that word on play.
You see
Good
the
job, brother Mark.
you see the spelling there. So basically, what this is saying, you may not see it. It talks about the natural cycles of healthy land. In nature, the earth is constantly replenishing itself.
Right.
Plants naturally grow in soils made fertile by the continual cycle of life. A seed sprouts, the plant grows, it reproduces, it grows old, it finally dies, falling back to the earth, and that once gave it life. As the plant decomposes, it returns valuable elements back to the soil. So the cycle continues as a new plant takes root in the soil, made rich by the generations that preceded it. Now, that's God's medicine. That's God's formula when things are running naturally, natural land. But what happens when man, or let's say the made man, starts committing great sin because he's very wicked, evil, and greedy? Because in that same book that was quoted, How to Eat to Live, said that the white man is a commercializing. He's very commercializing. He wants to make money, top dollar. He doesn't care about your health. He cares about that dollar being saved. So cultivated land is often limited to a single type of crop, depleting the soil of essential nutrients.
Right.
Modern farmers attempt to counter this with crop rotations. And then with cultivated lands, manipulated to accelerate the maturation of the plant, sometimes yielding multiple crops in a single growing season. And that's not natural. And it accelerates mineral depletion. So we're growing all of these plants and we're constantly pulling minerals from the soil.
Right.
Minerals that are needed to nourish you and me. If the plants are planted in that mineral depleted soil, it can't give you what it used to give you. It's like I heard someone say, your grandmother's carrot is not your carrot.
Oh,
You need 5 or 10 of your carrots to equal the nutritional value of your grandmother's carrot that she ate 60 years ago.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Slide, please.
Denatured food, brother Mark.
Denatured food, exactly. Slide, please.
But brother Mark, can I add something real quick?
Go right
if
ahead.
I may?
Go right ahead.
Benjamin Banneker, He provided something very invaluable to white people that listened to him, because white people were very greedy, and they didn't believe in crop rotation. But he, through his almanacs, which Benjamin Franklin tried to take credit for inventing the almanac, but he, through his almanac, he was able to teach farmers, including white farmers, how to really farm. And later on, George Washington Carver did the same thing. And so where did this knowledge come from? It was in these men. Benjamin Banneker himself, his father was a doggone African who was teaching him about the science of crop rotation. George Washington Carver later on was doing the same thing out of Tuskegee University. I just wanted to share that.
Thank you, my dear brother.
Thank you.
Now, this is just an example of what man's medicines have done to the soil. And now this is what was done in 1992. The United Nations Conference on Environment and Development made public a report that had evaluated the average mineral content of the world's farmland and rangeland soil. Over the course of just 100 years, the mineral content had decreased dramatically on every continent. So as you see, where we live in North America, it decreased by 85%. And that's in 1992. It's probably a lot less now because it's 2024 now. But you look at over the globe, the different percentages. North America had the highest decrease in mineral depletion because, hey, we're in America. It's like James Brown said, only in America. Don King said, only in America, right?
Only in America.
This is becoming a food desert real quick, Brother Mark.
Exactly.
The whole country.
Exactly. And so this is the problem. Slide, please. So more on this problem, just give you some examples. This table compares a 1940 vegetable or mineral, minerals in fruits and vegetables versus a 1991. And you can go down the list, and I'm not going to go over every one, but you can see for every mineral that is needed by the human body, sodium, potassium, magnesium, and so on, you see a negative % decrease from 1940 to 1991. You got various vegetables that had a decrease in these valuable and needed minerals. And I can say, especially for men, zinc is extremely important.
Yes.
Zinc. And you see the vegetable decrease in that zinc is minus 59%. It's a decrease.
Oh, wow.
In zinc. So this is a problem. If your vegetables are not giving you what you need, you got to do something to get what you need.
Brother Mark.
Yes, sir.
But for men, it's vitally important because it's zinc that produces testosterone in men. And we have significantly seen a drop in testosterone in the past 50 years, not just in the United States, but worldwide. And also, zinc has certain properties that also help women in during pregnancy. So zinc is vitally important.
Exactly. Slide, please. Well,
we know, we can tell.
Right.
I'm only imitating one of my brothers that I love so much and his teaching. Anyway,
Dr. Wesley. Say his name, brother.
Shout out to my dear brother, Dr. Wesley Muhammad. Okay.
We need to bring back on the show very soon.
Oh, no, right.
Man, I would love it. Now, this slide just simply says this, family. Minerals vanishing without a trace. Trace minerals, for example, zinc, what we just talked about. Trace minerals are minerals critical to both plant and animal health, but that are present even in virgin uncultivated soil, but only in very small amounts. Though found in small quantities, their importance is not to be neglected. This is why they are often called micronutrients. Next slide, please. Now, here's an example of nutritional deficiency. A deficiency of antioxidant vitamins and minerals, especially beta carotene, vitamin C and E, and selenium, is associated with higher incidence of cancers of the colon, of the breast, prostate cancer, cancer of the mouth, lung cancer, and skin cancer. Back to the previous slide, please.
I'm sorry.
No problem.
She got a little excited.
Some researchers believe that the antioxidant vitamin and mineral deficiencies may be related to higher incidence of all cancers.
Oh,
You need vitamins and minerals, family. You absolutely need a mineral deficiency, especially magnesium and potassium, which Sister Kalila talked about earlier about potassium, but also calcium is associated with high blood pressure. So a mineral deficiency can produce high blood pressure.
Right.
All right. And there was a Nobel Prize winner, Linus Pauling. He's quoted as saying, "You can trace every sickness, every disease, or every ailment to a mineral deficiency." Now, mineral is different than vitamin.
That is true. That is true.
Vitamin is different. So minerals are those things that are very hard to get from what we eat as far as fruits and vegetables. Slide, please. Just give you another example here of nutritional deficiency. Calcium is critical to nerve impulse transmission, muscle contraction, and the secretion of hormones like insulin. Calcium is so vital that when blood calcium levels become too low, the body robs the calcium from teeth and bones.
Wow.
So the body's going to get what it needs. If you don't give me calcium, okay, I'm going
to take it from you.
Borrow from the teeth, you know.
Wow.
So when the levels in the blood drop, calcium sensing receptors in the parathyroid gland become activated. This results in release of PTH, a hormone that releases calcium from the bones to increase the concentration of calcium in the blood. If that calcium is not replaced and an adequate store maintained, teeth and bones can weaken over time, resulting in debilitating conditions like osteoporosis. So you see some old people, they start to bend over because the bone or the spine and the bones in the spine start to deplete and they start to bend over. Osteoporosis. I'm not going to do the rest of that, but I just want to give you an idea. Slide, please. I'm going to wrap this up. The solution. Now, keep in mind, there's a one word that too many of us miss out of how to eat to live. To practice how to eat to live properly, he said, raise and prepare. We missed the word raise.
We missed the word raise.
Going to Walmart.
It's not raising.
Raising. You're leaving Sam Walton to raise your food or whoever he gets the food from. But we are to or get it from a trusted source, meaning Muhammad Farms, Staple Goods Program. Shout out to Muhammad Farms. Or if you grow it yourself, but then you have to learn how to make dirt or soil. The Will Allen that taught many of us how to make real dirt or soil through composting. So if you're not doing that, family, if you're not raising your own food, then you have to supplement until you start growing your own food. And you have to find good supplements that are out there that will allow for your body to absorb as much as possible, because a lot of supplements on the market don't give you a higher percent of absorption into your bloodstream, meaning you take the vitamins in and they go out to where you're looking at them like we were just talking about looking at your urine.
Right.
You're not getting your money's worth if it's going in and going out your body. So
that's right.
It is important to supplement. And of course, we have been talking about this in times past on this program about the COVID practical steps to protect yourself with self-care. And there are certain supplements that are advised that we get. For example, we need to make sure we get enough vitamin D3, enough vitamin C, quercetin, zinc. We talked about
zinc.
that. And there are other things that are listed here. Of course, fresh air, of course, exercise. We got to do what's right for ourselves. So if you're
Yes.
not growing your own food from a trusted source, getting the proper mineral content, you should consider supplementation. And that concludes my presentation.
Absolutely.
Are there any questions?
All
Woo!
righty.
Brother Mark.
Brother Mark.
Be to Allah.
Great presentation. You know, it's I started a supplement, and because I I think because I know when I'm like iron deficiency, I suffer from lack of iron, and I started taking this supplement, but I'm also growing into my beautiful what they call it wisdom age, where a lot of things just being honest, a lot of things are leaving or decreasing as I try to maintain at the same time. However, I started taking this supplement, and it's a really good supplement. Not gonna give
Mhm.
give no shout outs because I ain't getting paid for it or nothing. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
there
See
you
if they got an
go.
affiliate program.
Yes, because I need to be affiliated because I sure be taking them like I own half of the company. But but what it does, it actually restores a lot of the hormone balance in the body. And because I'm not getting the proper nutrients from the food, then that hormone balance is very important for women. So
Amen.
I encourage you for women, especially when you're dealing with chemical and hormonal balance, as well as iron deficiency, even as well as vitamin deficiency. You don't know how many people have vitamin D deficiency.
Exactly.
It's a very high range, and the only way you will really know is by getting blood work done
That's right.
to make that determination. So
Exactly.
you can't just say, "Oh Lord, I got vitamin D deficiency." But in another case too, Brother Mark, um, people take supplements and don't know even if the supplement is good for you, because you can
Right.
have a supplement and take a supplement, but you already have enough in your body to maintain, so you over supplementing yourself, and that can cause to kidney failure as well.
Exactly. Yeah, you definitely have to get checked out and know what
Yes,
your nutritional needs are. Everybody's
yes,
different, and so you
yes.
need to definitely know that. And I do bear witness that when you know you're deficient, like my mom, when we knew that she was anemic and she was deficient in iron, and these doctors, I tell you, told her when we asked, was there something she can do with her diet, anything she can do about that? He said no. He just recommend she take the prescription drugs and keep it to moving. But I
I'm
said,
your
no, I don't
pusher.
agree with that. So
I'm your
I found
pusher.
a good
I'm
supplement
your
for her,
pusher.
and it actually raised her blood count and her iron level. And they were like, what happened? What y'all do?
Look at that. Look at that.
Like, we just did a good supplement for her, and it brought
Right.
her blood count where it needed to be. So yeah, you have to, we're taught to know ourselves and to study ourselves, and definitely gonna have to get checked out to know what we need. That's
Yeah.
definitely
I'm your pusher.
Two quick. Can I squeeze in two quick reflection on Brother Mark's presentation?
Yes,
all right
All
here.
right, I'm not gonna be long.
Really?
But
like your presentation. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
like my presentation, that's right.
Uh,
I admit it. I admit it. One food source that is rich in zinc is Navy.
Mm.
Navy beans.
Mm.
Navy beans. Talk
Go
about it.
get go get your Navy beans. Stock up on your Navy beans. Absolutely good for you.
Mm.
It is rich in zinc. One other thing, Brother Mark, during the pandemic, when we were being told that people that had a vitamin D deficiency and were being hit with COVID the hardest.
Right.
I was one of those where like, I'll be all right. I was vitamin D deficient. And one of our good brothers, Minister Thomas Jihad, he had a good pep talk with me. He told me, you need to take your supplements. He said, look, the minister is on supplements. If the Honorable Minister Farrakhan is on supplements, what do I look like? Say, oh, no, I'm going to be all right. I quickly changed that to now I'm still taking supplements right now.
There you go.
If you were taking supplements, the pandemic, I got to stock up on vitamin D, and you've stopped doing that, guess what? COVID is still around. Guess what? We still need to be doing that anyway because of denatured foods that we have to contend with until we consistently have something of our own in our own communities. We do need to be growing our own food. We need to work on doing that. Yes. But until then, until we have consistency regularly, when it comes down to that, we have to supplement and we have to do everything that we can to survive. And we pray that what we have presented here on this program is an aid to all of you.
Absolutely. And if I could just say that there's an awesome class where I think it's for Black women, and they teach the science of food.
Talk about our class.
I think it's called the MGT and GCC. And they actually are able to treat their own families.
That's right.
In their study of the foods, its components, and what health effect they want to try to produce. And they study the vitamins and the minerals, and they also understand that there are charts that will show you if there's a certain illness you're dealing with, it could be a deficiency in this or this or this, and they know what to do. So for those sisters that are listening, you need to go to Muhammad Mosque or study group and go and check out the MGT class, see about becoming a registered MGT. That's just my advice.
Praise. Very good advice. Very good advice.
Myself and Brother Mark, we're not invited into the MGT class.
Absolutely not.
I just heard about it.
The reason why we know about this because our sisters, when they talk about the science of food and they talk about the science of nutrition. We bear witness to the wonderful products that are coming out of that class.
Oh my God!
So that's the only reason why we know we get like this little glimpse of what you're being taught.
Yes, sir.
Alhamdulillah. Well, thank you so
much.
Well, our reflection from our class, we have to reflect it on you. So to make you strong and to make you be the forefront and the vanguard of our civilization. So we have to go to work and be those scientists, not only for us, but for you all, but also for the community.
Come on.
Praise be to Allah.
And with that being said, we are going to go into the knowledge corner, the knowledge corner. When you gain knowledge, you gain power.
You're going to have to record that in some studios.
Right.
A knowledge corner song.
Right.
All right.
It's an original. All right. So with that being said, the knowledge corner, it's simple. Keep food simple. Okay. In the How to Eat to Live, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad considered most fruit and vegetables safe to eat, except collard greens and turnip greens and turnip salad or turnip greens. Now you could eat the mustard green, but you cannot eat the collards or the turnip greens. All right. Mm-hmm. In regards to the bean, only the navy beans should be eaten. Lima beans are considered a poison, which Muhammad believes that Black men's stomachs will explode. Okay. Rice and spinach is allowed in moderation. Okay. Keeping basic rules such as consuming small portions. Your plate shouldn't be big. Your food portion shouldn't be big because your plate big.
Oh, wow.
All right. Avoid eating to go, meaning that you need to sit down and eat. All right. Let your food digest.
Masticate.
Talk. Right. Between the hours of 4 and 6. This is why it's prescribed between the hours of 4 and 6, because you get the opportunity to share and spend time with your family at a table, and you're eating while you're digesting. If you prescribe within that time period and the actual portion control, you will not be hungry later on at night where the snack attack comes. So be mindful of that.
Good time.
Yes. Plan your meals with gradual product produce. I'm sorry, gradual product. I'm
Take your
sorry.
time, Sister Khalil.
Listen, it's a great a resolution. Okay, so just properly prepare. That's basically what it is. I know that when my first officer had me on this exercise, and the exercise consists of me every Sunday planning out my meal prep for the entire year, prior week.
Mhm.
And even if you can plan it out for a month, just stick to that meal prep. And it was, and let me tell you something. I started it. I haven't been like really 100% on it, but I have been saving a lot of money during the meal prep because I am focused on what to get and not just going into the grocery store, just getting anything. Okay. That's when you spend a lot of money because you're not conscious of what you're buying. Okay. So be very conscious and enjoy healthy foods and stay active. Will help remain okay, I'm sorry, let me repeat that. Enjoying healthy foods and staying active will remain concentrated remain concentrated and happy and happy. And please be mindful that when you feel like you are overweight, chances are you are. And sometimes when people think, okay, I'm overweight because I'm skinny, sometimes it's because you are not plenishing yourself with the right food, because food is fuel. If you're not eating for the betterment that will give you energy, then you're utilizing food that will cause you to not gain energy. So when you have to go to sleep after you eat, that means chances are you might not have eaten the right food, or you have practiced gluttony, which is very sinful as it relates to overeating.
Right.
So overeating is not a good thing. And also, last but not least, if your mind ain't right, then it doesn't matter what you put in your mouth. You can turn the food, organic food, because your mind ain't right, into poison food. So start with your mind, bless your food, and make sure your mind, spirit, and soul is proper, and proper food will enhance your life. May Allah continue to bless you all. Assalamu alaikum.
Yay. All right. Well, Brother Tony, get ready to take us out of here.
Well,
Before
family,
we, you
well,
know,
before
we gotta.
we got support. We got to support.
We gotta support.
And we thank you all for supporting this program. And we will continue broadcasting quality programs to help save lives. Beloved family,
Yes.
anything that you're able to donate here tonight, we are extremely thankful. And may Allah God continue to bless you, whether it be a few dollars, $5, $10, $20, anything that you are able to donate. We thank you, we thank you, we thank you. And may Allah
Yes,
God
yes.
continue to bless you all.
And for those of you who have already donated, please believe that we have saw everyone that has donated, and you are on the top of our prayer list of thanking you. And again, this is the circle of life, and this is the circle of love, and we thank you for being a part of that circle. For those of you who have already donated and helped us to help you, to help the community to save lives. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Well,
Right.
Sister Felicia, you can take us out. Not literally, but
So thank you all for what's the phrase? Thank you all for being here with us. And we're not a gang, we're not a crew,
We're not a clique.
we're not a clique. We are the Seventh Region.
Coalition
Help save lives.
To
to
help
help
save
save
lives.
Tune in
lives.
next week, dear family.